Hey, good evening. We just wrapped up session 3 of our Wednesday night series, Time of Your Life. And tonight was compounding minutes. And kind of the thought that we talked about was, and Andy covered it, if you put, in anything that we talk about in life, if you put short amounts of time into something, in the long run will pay off. And we talk about finances or relationships. But in the same regard, if we neglect, that's all, the word was cumulative. They add up, and neglect adds up as well. And again, same thing. Finances, physical health. You can end
relationships.
Relationships. If you neglect them long enough, you shouldn't be surprised at the end result. You shouldn't be surprised that a boyfriend and girlfriend broke up because you neglected the relationship, or that you didn't have savings when it came to retirement because you didn't plan ahead.
Well, it's true. The little things add up.
Yeah, for sure.
Little things add up.
They do.
And we don't appreciate little things.
No.
We're always looking for the big thing, I mean, boy, I could really go off on that one. But
And it's funny because at our house, I tend to be the guy, this may surprise you.
yeah.
I tend to be the guy that, like, in your fridge when you get water, you think, I'll like notice a weird piece of whatever would be there, and I'll have to like, get it. Like those little things tend to bother me. I don't always see all of them, but like, because I know, a smudge is a bigger smudge, is this, and it just becomes something bigger. So yeah,
I would think, if anything, or hopefully more than just this, but that you've rubbed off on me is your, like, you get on it right then. You talk about it all the time.
I see you do that.
I try. If you
If
give
I
me
shoot
something,
you an assignment, it's like, slow down.
no, like I've got other things to do, but I feel like now that I've got to get off my plate.
Right.
And that's what you always do. That's why you're telling me, because you got to get it off
So
your
is that
plate.
the motivation? It feels good when it's done?
It does feel good
it
when
does.
it's done.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that wasn't covered tonight.
And then we don't have to. Then you don't have to remind us, and that always feels good.
Yeah.
Like, it's done. It's finished.
Yeah. Right.
No one has to think about it.
Yeah.
Because it's a little thing.
And we talked about you talked about your pad and paper and just, your
Planning out the week.
Yeah.
No surprises.
But at the same time, there's another phrase that used to be popular called the tyranny of the urgent. Where you have to do that thing right away.
Yeah.
And you really don't.
No.
I do. I live by that.
I know you do.
Apparently you're adopting it. So, it's okay. It works.
Well, I know the alternative.
I'm not sure what that is, and we can't say it on camera.
But our scripture that he read from was Ephesians 5, and it says, "So be careful how you live. Don't live like fools, but live like those who are wise. Make the most of every opportunity in these evil days." And we just talked about your situation. Like if we're walking in God's plan, the opportunities come to us. You talked about one today, but if you could have easily. And we can do this. We can be so busy with everything else, we're missing the opportunities that God is affording us. Because we've got so. I talked about that phrase, too many irons in the fire. I mean, you could be spread so thin, you don't have time to recognize when God is given an opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting, just that verse. When you're up there reading, one of you guys are teaching, I open up my Greek Bible on my phone. And I look at, what does that word really mean? Like, be careful how you live.
He did a lot of that tonight. He talked about the Greek tonight, yeah.
Be careful how you live. The word is peripateo, which means to walk around. It really doesn't mean to live.
Wow.
It's interesting, yeah. Be careful how you walk around. And doesn't that make sense?
Yes.
Because even if you're on uneven ground or you hit an indentation, you could twist your ankle, you could pop some, I forget what those tendons are down, ligaments in your, you could really get hurt if you're not careful. I mean, you could literally walk off and fall. And then the word for redeeming the time, that's really the translation, the word there, means to buy out of the marketplace. It's to make an exchange. It's not the word, redemption for salvation is a completely different word. But he's talking about buying it out of the marketplace. And Andy talked about, I think, in my mind, kind of an exchange. You got to be careful how you walk. And make the most of every opportunity, almost like in a business deal.
Right.
Try to get the better deal in the marketplace.
Yeah.
That's the flavor of that
Make
word.
the best trade, make the best
Yeah.
swap for your time.
And kind of how I was looking at that too was if you know something is going to be in business, something big, you would buy it all up
Oh, yeah.
because now you own it and now you get to.
You're going to be prudent.
Yes, exactly.
And I think, if I were to sum up tonight, I think, again, the word is very similar to what was shared last week, intentional.
Yeah.
You need to be intentional with all the little things. And I showed you guys a post from Instagram with that drill sergeant guy. He said, we say to ourselves, it's just one donut. And on the flip side, well, I'm only missing one workout. And it's only one, but there is this cumulative effect.
Yeah.
And so we need to plan a long-term strategy and not just live for the moment. And I think that was kind of the measure of the message tonight.
Yeah, because that is how a wise person would live.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's the thing too. Is it can be I think sometimes for us, depending on what part of our life, it can seem like, well, if I make this little change, it's not going to be a big. If I save $5, if I did, is that really going to make a big difference? And it is not right now, but it's that $5, and then 10, and then 20, and then it's 100, and then it really does. Things do pile up quickly.
Yeah.
They
Well,
really do.
with finances, again, it's like the person will go to a fancy coffee shop, and they'll buy the fancy drink. Well, it's only $7. But if you said, why don't you just take that and put that away? Well, it's only $7. It doesn't, but 7 times
yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of compounding. In fact, I can't remember the actual subtitle for this week's session, but it was compounding time or something.
Compounding minutes.
Compounding minutes.
Yeah.
And one of the great wonders of the world, they say, is compound interest. And then too, there's another thing, and I didn't have time to look it up, but they say you took a penny and saved it today, doubled it every day, I think like in a year you have like $1 million.
No,
It's
after
a month,
a
right?
month,
Yeah.
30 days.
I want to say it's close to $7 million.
Yeah,
I know that
something
sounds
ridiculous.
ridiculous,
Yeah.
but yeah.
But one penny, two
Doubled
pennies,
every
4
day.
pennies, 8 pennies, and
Yeah.
the exponential growth on that.
And that's something that, like, you pick up pennies if you see them.
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless they're really bad.
If they have gum all over them.
Yeah, if they're all slimy, it's like I'll pass. But if it's a dry penny,
Yeah.
So, and it goes right into our.
If it's a
No, it gets. I put it in my desk drawer, and then it goes into BGMC. Yeah. So,
And that's the thing is, I was saying that we're much more careful with our money than we are our time.
yeah.
And we won't waste our money. That's too important to us. But
Yeah.
our time just kind of can go out the window.
Yeah.
So, but
It was a good session.
It was
Thank
a very
you.
good night.
So listen, we're not meeting next week in between Christmas and New Year's, but we're going to resume January 4th, the first Wednesday of the new year, and hope you'll join with us. We have 2 more sessions in this series before we change gears. Well, kind of change gears. We're going to be talking about finance when we're done with this. But anyways, I'm just going to invite everyone, come on out for Christmas Day service, 10 a.m. This coming Sunday. And then the following Sunday is New Year's, of course. And in between that, the final Friday of 2022. 5:30, we're going to have a potluck, and the youth have just a full night that night. So check our website, and see you Sunday. God bless, and have a Merry Christmas.